Oh, I always forget. So I'm going to nominate, I'm going to appoint John Sesser to be my reminder. He's pretty good at it. And Michael, you're my backup. You're John's backup. So between the two of you, remind me to record, please, and remind me to start recording again when I pause for a break. Okay? Because that's my big downfall. I'll get recording for the first part of the class, have a break, and then I forget to record. But I will have every lab, every class I do, usually before I leave for the day, before I leave after we finish the class, I'll have it embedded. I'll have it from YouTube made as video and then embedded into the Canvas shell. So if you want to review anything, you'll be able to do that. I probably won't do it today because today's a special day. And here's what the special day is all about. You ready? Everybody ready for the special day? Okay. The special day is this is the first day I've taught 111. It's the first day, I think, no, I've taught on Saturday. I think I took a class for Jim a Saturday several years ago. First time I've taught on a Saturday. First time I've taught this early. And because I was kind of taken by surprise last minute to jump in here and split this class with Jim, I have a tea time at Sandpiper that I am not going to miss. So that means that by 10:30, we'll be out of here. Okay. And I'll try to get everything in. Actually, what I'll try to do is fill up the space between now and then. I don't think we'll have a problem. It's just been really challenging trying to figure out how to do a lab remotely. I mean, the whole essence of labs seems to me that I get you guys and gals here, and then we do hands-on stuff, and you see stuff, and you touch stuff, and we make sawdust. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to I'm going to show you stuff on Zoom, and that's going to be the way it is. And I got a couple of little videos, and I'll be making more videos for you to look at, and then I'm obligated to do the first two classes remotely. And then by the third class, if we wanted to, we could have some face-to-face learning. And at this point, what I would like to do is next week, I'll find out, pardon me for yawning, I've been up since 5. Next week, I'll find out how many of you would like to come face-to-face. And we can do what I did last semester in my CT114 class, is that I can handle in my shop, in the shop here, which I'll pan for you, for some of you that don't know the shop, I can handle 8 to 10 people. 8 people is really comfortable. It gives us 6 to 8 feet distance from each other. We mask up. I do contactless thermometer when you come in, ask you a few questions. So we'll stay as safe as we can. And then we can do some stuff in the shop, some demos, and the rest of the class can come along on Zoom. And then I'm going to figure this one out. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to figure out a way to take the webcam outside, so then we could have more than 8 people and we could do some outside demo stuff. So anyway, I'm figuring this out as we go, as you probably know. And if you don't, I'll tell you that all of us instructors have been learning how to do education like this, rather than how we've all been doing it for however long we've been doing it. But I'll tell you personally, for me, not having any background in education, when I agreed to do this 12 years ago, it was kind of a no-brainer because I know my trade. So I have been able to instruct over the last 12 years by just presenting what I know and what's going on, and it's worked. And it works for me and it's worked for you. I've gotten feedback from you so it's worked. So I know it's worked. This is a little different. I can project what I know, but a lot of what I know I'd like to show you is not going to be happening. So that's okay. We got to do with what we got. We have to deal with what we have. We have to make do with what we have. Okay. Okay. I've really been stressing over today. by the way. Have any of you? Because you guys are in your jammies, right? Mike, you're in your jammies. I know you are. Katie's not. Lindsay's not. Those are my interpreters. They're not even in the class. Armando, you're in your jammies. Kobe, you have to be in your jammies. Kobe, you may not even have any clothes on. Kevin, you too. I mean, but I'm not in my jammies. I'm dressed. I'm showered. And look at that. I'm even wearing shoes. So all you got to do is sit back and enjoy. All right. There's a new syllabus. The syllabus that's on Canvas right now is not this one. And you know what? I'm going to pin myself for right now. I'll probably unpin soon, but okay. Here we go. That syllabus is not the one that's on the Canvas shell of 111 that you see. We'll get this one in there, and there's really not much change. I just formatted it a little bit different. I mean, I just changed his format a little bit. I added the dates at each week. I added the date of the lab as well, and then I just added I added my contact info and stuff like that. Just minor tweaks, nothing to the schedule really. But we'll get that up into Canvas so you'll have the same thing that I have. And you'll have access to me. And I've given you access to me through my pipeline and my telephone number. And I promise that I will be better about checking my pipeline because it's not my main email account. So because of that, I don't check it as often as I do my main email account. And I've decided to try it this year, not give you my main email account, at least not at this point, and just give you my pipeline. And then I will be better and check pipeline at least a couple times a day. And you can call me and you can text me. So what I encourage you to do is email me if it's not an emergency, text me preferably, or call me if you not so much an emergency, but if you're not gonna make it, if you're not gonna make it to class, then you need to please text me or call me or email me. Text would be a good way to do it, and let me know why you're not going to be in class, that you're not going to be in class, and why you're not going to be in class. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is I worry about you if you're not in class. I wonder what's happening, why you're not there. And the other is that if I don't see your smiling face on Zoom, then you're absent. And that counts for something. Now, Jim has a different method of grading. And if you look in his syllabus, which I'm hoping you all have, you see how Jim grades. And we can look at that, excuse me. I'll share that screen with you. We can look at that. I grade differently, but we're going to be going off of Jim's grading. But I'm going to, just because I've got your attention, I'm going to tell you how I grade. So even though it'll just be my feedback on you guys to contribute to how Jim grades, because Jim will ultimately be grading with my feedback. But I grade on 5 20% items. Midterms 20%. Finals 20%. I give 2 big tests. I try not to give quizzes, although last year I did, and I may give a quiz or 2 because I've got some exciting stuff happening that I'll tell you about soon that has to do with the online version of our textbook. So 20%, 20% midterm and final. That's 40% of your grade. And then the other 60% is in 3 20%, and that's attendance, participation, and attitude. Well, guess what? I can't gauge your attitude, and you certainly can't participate if you're not there. So it's really all about attendance. It's about you showing up, which is the better part of life, you showing up. For me, most of the time, if I show up, I'm going to be okay. If I don't show up, I'm definitely not. So my admonition to you is to show up. Just show up, man. It's half the battle. Show up. Especially, I mean, how hard can it be? You get to show up in your jammies. You guys can be drinking coffee. You can walk over and brew some coffee. Who's this? Mr. D'Angelo. Can you get on video, please? So I can see your smiling face. There you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. And there's Hugo. Hugo, how's it going for you? You getting this? This is so cool.
Everything's going well. Yeah. How are you doing?
That's great. Thank you, Hugo. I'm nervous. I'm two double espressos to the wind. And other than that, I'm good. Thank you. And I'm healthy. And I continue to stay healthy, and I'm planning to stay that way too. So I'm going to start roll. It's definitely time. It's quarter till. And so it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like I got 10 out of 22. Well, that's not all that good, but okay. Let's see what 10 I got. So Dario Alonso. And if I call your name, please unmute yourself, and I want you to say here or present or something. 1/16/21. Dario on Saturday is not here. Big 0 for now. Actually, I'll just leave it blank. Okay. Jesus Barreto. Jesus. Armando.
Here.
Yes. I got one. Rudy Guerrero. Manuel Gutierrez. Dalen Jackson. Brenda Landeros. Colby Lundmark.
Here.
Colby, can you give me video, please? If you're dressed, or at least in your jammies. Thank you. So
Sorry
Colby,
about
are
that.
you Joshua? No.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
Joshua's here. Wait a second. I'll get back to you. Okay, there's Colby. Okay. All right. Colby was up. Okay. Hugo.
I'm here.
Eric Mendez Garcia. Eric? Eric's always here. Edward Nolasco. Kevin Nolasco.
Here.
Kevin? Let me see where you are. Is Edward your brother?
No.
Are you guys related?
No, we're not related.
I don't think that's not a super common name. So Ed is here. Kevin, are you here? Or wait, is it Kevin that's here? No, Kevin's here. Ed's not here. So, and you don't know Edward, Kevin?
No, I don't know who he is.
Andrew Pacheco. Jackson Rainey. D'Angelo Rangel.
I'm here.
That's a cool name, man. I want that name.
Thank you.
What do people call you? Do they call you D'Angelo?
Nah, they just shorten it. They just call me D real
D.
quick.
Is it okay if I call you D?
Yeah, totally fine.
Although I may be calling you D'Angelo, it just kind of rolls off your tongue. Is it Hosua?
Yeah, it's that, but everyone just calls me Josh. Yeah, it's easier.
So it's really Joshua Hosua, but Josh. Okay, I like it. Santana, another excellent name. You know that I think one of the names of a student I had that I really liked, his name was Diego Rivera. God, I would kill for a name like Diego Rivera. You got to remember, my name is Rodney Utt. That's just the weirdest name ever. So I kind of have name envy. John Sesser.
Here.
Michael Silva.
Here.
Michael Silva in Sacramento. Jose Silva Nunez. Jose? God, I thought I saw you. Huh. Shoot. Okay. Aurelio? Aurelio Uribe? And Dennis Vega. All right. Well, if you wouldn't mind giving me just a second, I'm going to call Dennis Vega and find out why he's not here. And we can all listen in. We can all give Dennis Vega a hard time for not being here. And then remind me to tell you about Dennis Vega. Why aren't you on my Zoom class? Have you gone to the Canvas and just clicked on the link? Because Jim's got a link in there. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Just click on that link, go in Canvas. I think it's under announcements, and click on the link. And anybody you know, do you know anybody in the class? Yeah, he hasn't clicked either. So do you have his phone number? Call him up and see and get him to click on that. Okay, so come on. All right, good. All right, bye. Yeah, so that may be happening for some of you that aren't here. Of course, I'm talking to people that aren't here. It may be happening for them, which is too bad. They're going to miss this because I went to a lot of trouble to put this together. So everybody here, like, did you just, this for instance, John, did you just able to go on the announcements and click on the link and get here?
I followed a bookmark I had, but James sent out a couple bad links.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
people
well, I went to a bad link too. The link that's up on my Canvas shell on this class's Canvas shell is not the right meeting ID.
Yeah.
So how did you guys get in? None of you clicked on that link? How did you get in?
Well, I have two emails with two different links, and one was working and one wasn't. So I had, yeah.
And who'd you get the email from, Josh?
James.
From who?
From James.
Okay, so he sent out an email. All right.
Yeah.
So if he sent out an email, all right, well, we'll get this worked out because I couldn't get on, man. I couldn't get on. I was panicked. And then finally, on the phone to Jim, I was able to get on. So, okay, so I'm assuming that's why we're missing so many people. And all right. So some of you know me and some of you don't. So I'm going to give you a brief bio about me. So you'll know who I am. So my name is Rodney Utt. I usually write all this on the board, but it's in your, it'll be in that syllabus as soon as we get it, changed and get the tweaked syllabus that I have in there, Jim's tweaked syllabus. So I'm Rodney Utt. I'm a retired general contractor, and actually I'm not that retired anymore. What else was I trying to speak of? Oh, yes, and don't let me forget my two reminders that once I get done with this soliloquy about myself, the first thing we'll do is we'll do our safety meeting, and I'll tell you about the safety meetings. Okay. We're gonna have a safety meeting every week. We're gonna have a topic. We'll read the topic and then we'll have a little discussion on it, and then we'll keep going. So I am a builder, cabinet maker, finished carpenter. I'm sorry for yawning, but I was formally trained as a cabinet maker and a carpenter, and I worked as a finished carpenter in the late 70s. Well, actually, I take it back, through most of the 70s. Yeah, through most of the 70s, I worked as a finished carpenter. I took about a 4-year break in that time from 74 to 78. And I was a abalone diver and then a sea urchin diver at a 36 by 12 Radden boat with twin 454 Chevy Corvette engines. And my best year, which was 1976, I landed 896,000 pounds. My boat landed 896,000 pounds of sea urchins at the Navy Pier, mostly picked from San Miguel Island on its backside. And then I sold the boat, got back into carpentry and did some finished carpentry. I was paneling a sauna or something. And I got an opportunity to do a remodel. I can't remember. Anyway, I got a contractor's license in 81. And then I got my first decent sized job was an addition remodel. And part of the remodel was a kitchen. And having a background in cabinet making, I didn't want to subcontract my cabinets. So I decided to rent space in a shop. At the time was from Michael Briggs, who's since deceased, an unbelievably good woodworker. I mean, one of the best ever. And he had a shop called Westerly Sawtooth, and I rented space in it, and then I created a little office. I built an office in it, and I had a shop there for a couple of years. Anyway, I built that first kitchen there. Excuse me. Built that first kitchen there, and then went on to have a shop like forever. And then I was in a building down at 411 Quarantina. It was 411, or maybe it was another address in Quarantina, because the first shop was 411, and I went down to where Marburg's big thing is, and I had an UT construction sign that was 30 inches high that was visible from the freeway before we got rid of the stoplights on the freeway. That was that long ago. And it was just the greatest, because now you look down and see Marburg, but I had this, as soon as you came into Santa Barbara, an elevator on the freeway, I had all this advertising. So I was there until 1988. And then in 1988, I was evicted because she was selling the property to Marburg, or leasing the property to Marburg. And so I had to find a new place, and I found an interim shop, but I wound up buying a building in Goleta and putting together a commercial cabinet shop there and offices for construction, and I had a yard and places for trucks and trailers and things like that. And I operated my construction business out of that building. I sold the building later on. I can't remember what year I sold the building. Sometime in the 90s, I guess. I sold the building and then leased back. So I was just leasing my shop for the last, I don't know, dozen years that I had it, doing general contracting and cabinet making businesses, specializing in kitchens and bathrooms and workstations. We did commercial, residential, worked for UCSB, just restaurants, built all kinds of stuff. I went out with a bang. I retired in 6 years ago. I retired in 2015. I was 66, 2015. That was my goal. Anyway, I retired. I sold the business to 2 long-term employees, but that year previous, or the 2 years previous, I had been had the privilege, the absolute privilege, of building two places, the book building and the piano house. Which, and sometime I'll show you. Maybe not today, but we'll go on the I'll share a screen on the UT Construction website, or if you want to check out UT Construction, look at the projects. You can look at pictures of the book building and the piano house, and those are the biggest challenges of my life, and probably any of the subs I had working their lives as well. And then in 2015, we were doing it every 2 years. I entered the Builder of the Year. I entered the piano or the book building in the Builder of the Year, and I won an award for new construction over 2 million, and then I won overall Builder of the Year. So, and then I retired. It was a dream come true. And since retirement, I've continued teaching. I teach at City College. I teach beginning finished carpentry, intermediate finished carpentry, blueprint reading, framing, roof framing, and now CT111, which is beginning construction trades. Okay. I went back to work somewhat this year. Last year, I met a guy on the golf course. And he had just moved from Seattle with his wife and kids. And now I'm doing a house for them. And we're going to see that house. I have some videos of that house and where we're at with it. And I have plans. Because if I remember correctly, Jim said he got you guys through to batter boards, right? You went through 7 and 8. I just went through 7. And then he said he got you to batter boards. Plot plan, building layout, establishing the measuring tapes, laying out leveling instruments. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun with leveling instruments. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Yeah, leveling instruments, checking grade, footing states, grade level. Okay, there's batter boards. And then I've got a video for you to watch about batter boards. Okay. Hey, did anybody come in late? If you did, unmute yourself and tell me. Looks
Hey,
like-
Rod.
Yeah.
Me.
Eric, cool. Yeah, Eric, so that's exactly. Eric, did you have trouble getting on the Zoom link? Is that?
Yeah.
And did Jim send you, did you eventually get through the links that Jim sent you via email?
Yeah, I had to use like 3 links, and the last one was the one that it was useful.
So I will make a promise to everybody that by next Saturday, this will be fixed. So you should be able to go into announcements or home or somewhere and just click on the Zoom link, and we'll get it fixed. So it won't be such a hassle, because I know there's some people that aren't here today, not because I'm yawning so much, but because they couldn't get on. So if I know that, and this is a beginning construction trade, so I'm pretty sure that I have a real cross section here. I'm pretty sure that I have people that are in the trades, working in the trades, people that want to work in the trades, people that are interested in the building trades, that may or may not want to ever work in the trades, interested in me because they want to be better, do better DIY stuff, right? Better do-it-yourselfer stuff, do their own work, or just have an understanding of building. Because the truth is, really, I don't really care. I have no investment in wire here. But I will tell you that I personally believe that anything you know about how we construct buildings will benefit you, because it's really interesting. It's really engaging. Everybody lives in one and goes into them, although less and less now. And just knowing how they're done will add to your life. I guarantee it. And if you're going to go into the trades or are into the trades, and you're just improving yourself and trying to figure out what you want to do, or you already know what you're doing in the trades, I couldn't recommend a better way to make a living. Well, I take it back. I really could. Excuse me. Dennis, did you get Aurelia? Okay, all right. I know it's ridiculous. So here's the real link. You hear me?
Hey, hold on, let me get.
Okay, and I post this, but I'm just gonna give it to you. And actually, that won't, because I won't do any good to write on the board, because if you're looking at it on the board on Zoom, that means you're already on the meeting. So are you ready, Dennis?
Yes.
So the meeting ID is 973-9934-9800. Can you read it back?
973. 99349800.
And the passcode is 510682.
510682.
Yeah, see you on here, okay? Until Aurelia,
Got it.
till Aurelia. All
All
right?
right, I will.
All right, thanks, bye. Sorry for the interruption. I would never answer my phone normally, but I'm keeping it on just in case of that, in case of this cluster thing that's happening around Zoom. What will we do without it? I tell you what I'd do. I make more right now on unemployment than I would teaching, than I do teaching. Yeah, so I was sorely tempted to no, I don't want to teach this class. I just want to stay unemployed because it's way better money. But that's just not my MO at all. So here I am. And I want you guys to be here too, and we'll make it smoother. We'll get the link so it works just like that. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and check Dennis Vega here, so I don't have to think about it again because I know he's going to get on, and I know Aurelio Uribe. Now, hey, do any of you know anybody that's taken the class that you don't see here? Anybody? Unmute yourself if you know anybody that you've seen on the roster and you don't see them here. Okay, so I'm just gonna, of the names I read off, I'm gonna read them again and see if you know any of them, and maybe you can call them up and give them the meeting ID. So, and I guess I can call later. I can access their phone numbers. Sorry. Did he give it to you? Aurelio? Hey, did Dennis get you and give you the new, the good code? No. Okay.
I just
Yeah,
I just sent him a picture of everything. Tell him.
Yeah, you got bad, you got bad links. So I'm gonna give you the right link. Got a pencil? I'd give you a pencil. I'd give you a picture, but I'm gonna give you a picture. I'm talking on the phone. You ready? Aurelia? No, I want you to write it down right now. Get yourself a pencil because I don't have time. I'm teaching the class right now. I'm taking time away for you, but I know you need it because we got some confusing links. So you ready to write this down? Okay, you ready? Okay, the meeting ID is 973-9934-9800. That's 9800. You got that? Yeah, so that's 973-9934-9800. Got that? Okay, and the passcode is 510682. Yeah. Okay, so get on there. Get on there, buddy. All right. Bye. Yeah, I guess maybe I will. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to take you guys with me. You don't mind, do you? Everybody's here in your pajamas anyway. So let's go. I'm going to go and share screen. What do I want to get to here? Let's get to that. Okay. Now, if I go to what do I want? Okay, I want. I can't call everybody. What am I thinking of? I can't call everybody, can I? No, I can't. All right, so let's do this. Let's go to modules. Are you guys seeing this? Are you seeing modules, seeing week 1 lab?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go to our safety meeting, cement mixer cleaning. All right, I'm gonna get you guys, hide the thumbnail video, get you out of my way. Put you up there. All right, so everybody see cement mixer cleaning and maintenance?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'll read the introduction and then I'll pick some people. Oh my gosh, that looks bad. So introduction, a cement mixer requires thorough cleaning after each use. To do this, you may be required to use power tools or chemicals in addition to working around moving parts. Since all of these may present serious safety concerns, it's important to use proper techniques and exercise caution at all times. So John, please start us off.
Cleaning the cement mixer. After putting on the proper personal protective equipment, turn the drum on and spin a mixture of gravel, water, and quantities previously decided upon by your employer based on the manufacturer's suggestions for about 5 minutes. To remove the residual concrete left, repeat the above process with the diluted mixture, also previously determined by your employer, of hydrochloric acid. If you have neglected to clean your mixer in the past, there may still be chunks of dried cement inside, stuck to the inside of the drum that must be removed by a chisel or pneumatic hammer. To finish, rinse the drum with a spray hose or pressure washer and leave the mixer in a designated place open and tilted down to dry.
Michael Silva.
Number 4 or number 3. Number 4. To finish the rinse rinse the drum and with a spray hose or pressure washer and leave the mixer in a designated place open and tilted down to dry. Hazards. Due to the supplies and equipment you will be required to use when cleaning the cement mixer, you'll be exposed to a variety of safety and health concerns, and a few examples are listed below. Pinch points. The moving parts of the mixing drum present a pinching hazard. Chemical burns. Hydrochloric acid is extremely corrosive and will result in severe burns if splashed on skin. Flying debris. Pneumatic tools and chisels exert enough force on dried concrete to cause debris that can dislodge into skin or eyes. Temporary hearing loss. Any sounds from the chiseling or tumbling of cement is amplified by the drum.
Okay, next. Gosh, who wants to read? Can't see anybody up here. I got to minimize. Unmute yourself and start reading, please.
Safe work practices. In order to avoid the above stated hazards, as well as hazards not mentioned, safe work practices include personal protective equipment, PPE, must be worn at all times. This includes safety glasses, gloves, and hearing protection, if applicable. In addition to standard PPE, keep hands and body parts clear from all moving parts while the mixture is spinning. Keep all applicable guards in place. Handle acid and other chemicals with great care. Never add water to hydrochloric acid when diluting. Instead, add small amounts of hydrochloric acid to the water. When using pneumatic tools, never aim a tool at yourself or anyone else. Be careful not to let air hoses get trapped underneath other equipment, as they will whip around violently until they are turned off if they become severe.
Severed.
Oh,
Until they are turned off if they become severed. Go ahead.
severed, yeah. Do not exceed the tool manufacturer's recommended air pressure for any pneumatic tool. Clean after each use to avoid buildup of cement.
All right, somebody read the conclusion, please. Jump in there, unmute yourself.
Cleaning a cement mixer after each use is the only way to prevent heavy buildup of cement, but it doesn't have to be dangerous if you use caution and follow all the safe work practices that you have been instructed to. Personal protective equipment should be your first line of defense against these hazards.
Okay, way to go. Now, let's see. I want to see who's here. Dennis made it. Cool. Eric made it. Kevin, Aurelio made it. Hey, Aurelio, you still in Sacramento?
No, I've never been in Sacramento.
In your life?
No, I don't think so.
Are you in your jammies?
Nope.
Okay.
Wish I was.
All right, so a couple of things about this. So who does anyone have any feedback about this? Questions or feedback about this cement mixer safe practices? Okay, then I got some questions for you. Chime in if you have the answer. Have any of you ever done this? Cleaned a mixer and used hydrochloric acid? Yeah, me neither. Never. I'm not sure I ever would. Dennis, have you even heard of it? No, I haven't either. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. Keep your mixer clean. I love the idea, but you know, we don't use cement mixers a lot. And in the first place, it's hard for me to even say cement mixer. And the reason why it's hard for me to say cement mixer is because cement is a gray powder and it's a component of something. Can somebody tell me what cement is a component of?
Concrete.
Yeah, exactly. And what is concrete? Can somebody else tell me what concrete is? It's cement, water, sand, and aggregate. That's what concrete is. So that mixer is not mixing cement. It's mixing concrete. So it's really a concrete mixer. So these people, they don't have my attention. And I'm half tongue in cheek, but it's true. It's like, one of my pet peeves is people call concrete cement all the time. You know what else is my pet peeve? Somebody tell them. Somebody that knows me, tell them my other pet peeve. You know? Do you remember? Yeah, it's hot water heaters. Guess what? They're water heaters. Water heaters heat water. Hot water heaters don't heat water. They're already hot. It's a water heater, not a hot water heater. Okay, enough of that. So just before I get out of this screen, God, that's a hydrochloric acid burn. For that picture alone, I wouldn't be using hydrochloric acid. You just hose it out. And when it gets, when you get dried concrete in there too much and it interferes with it, get in there and bust it out with a cold chisel. Simple stuff. And wear glasses. Okay, so we do a safety meeting every Saturday, every class I do a safety meeting, just like as though you were on a job. Because if you were on a job every 10 days or every 5 days, truth is I can't remember, it's 5 or 10 days, you have to have a safety meeting. You have to have a safety meeting with all your employees. You have to have a topic. You have to have them sign in. And it's part of what you're required to do to keep your workers' comp legally in force, is to have a safety meeting. And it makes sense. And it's a good thing. And it gets everybody together and you can, kick around stuff that's happening within a crew, but to keep the focus on safety, because in the building trades, safety is key, and because it's so dangerous. I mean, you see how dangerous this stuff is. There's almost nothing about building that isn't dangerous. You're just in contact with sharp things and places where you can trip and fall, and caustic things and heavy things and pinchy things, and it's fall off route. I mean, there's just 50 million ways to get hurt. So it's incumbent on you to be safe and to be responsible for your own safety, because guess what? Is anybody else responsible for your safety? Anybody? No, nobody's responsible for your safety. Nobody but you, right? All right, nobody but you. So I want to share that screen and then let's go. Okay. So you guys went through chapter 7. I wanted to do something in chapter 7. Chapter 7 is plans, specifications, and codes. So I'm going to get rid of the screen. Okay. All right. So we're back to my pin. Okay. So I'm going to do a little lab here on plans, specifications, and codes. Okay. Then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you a bunch of leveling devices. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a preview. I'm going to show you not just one leveling device, but actually 3 leveling devices. See them all? Okay. And how they work. And I find that super interesting. So another thing, actually, I think I'm going to do this. Let's see. Share screen again. All right, all right. And my dashboard. You guys seeing my dashboard?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so page 150. Let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So this is a set of plans. All right. This is my job set. Oh wait, are you guys seeing this? No, shit. I'm sorry. Sorry. I thought I was taking you with me, but I wasn't. I was leaving you on the shared screen.
Oh.
All right, so I can't show you that screen. All right, we'll go back to that. Let's stop the share. All right. So plans and specifications. Here's a plan. Oh, here's the shop. For those of you that haven't seen the shop, this is our classroom 24. That's a cabinet that the first year I was here, we designed, drew, and built that over the next couple of classes, actually. A bunch of bamboo plywood, Festo layout tool, our table saw, our Delta 10-inch unisaw, small shaper, bandsaw, drill press, planer, chop saw, jointer, table saw, disc and belt sander, stationary, a tripod with a builder's level, a tripod with a laser spinning level, a tripod with the weirdest level setup yet, which I'll try to explain in a bit, and where we sit when we're all together, and a bunch of tools. So pretty cool, huh? But this is a plan. This is a plan. This is a plan right here. You've seen these plans before. Now the difference between this plan, this plan, all right. Seeing that plan? Yeah, good. Okay. All right, all right. This is the approved set. So see there, stamped, approved, zoning, approved. It's got actually full color pictures of the existing site. So let's look at that. So this site plan, which is typically the cover page of the set of plans. And by the way, I'm going to back up a second and go over here to the textbook. Tell you that when this thing says, come on. Okay, well, I'm going to read a quote here from, actually, the second paragraph. Every carpenter must know how to read and understand architectural drawings, plans, and correctly interpret the information found in writings and written specifications. Simply put, the plans tell you how to build, and the specifications tell you what materials to be used. Blueprints are the language of the construction industry, and carpenters must be fluent in that language. Not just carpenters, people in the construction trades, period, need to understand plans. And if you're not in the construction trades and you're interested, you knowing how to read plans is really worthwhile. So as a construction guy and as a contractor, plans are everything. I mean, really everything. There's a quote in here I wanted to tell you. I wanted to read to you. If I can find it. Okay, so the quote changes a good plan. Okay, so page 133. All right. So the quote is on page 133, and it says a good plan and well-defined. Where does it say that? Okay, it says, it's actually the first, after the learning objections in technical terms, it says a good plan and well-defined contract are important in building construction. The old proverb, early understandings make long friendships, holds true in the construction industry. So really, everything's on the plan. And when everything's on the plan, your construction contract is tied to the plan. So you want to get everything on that plan, and anything that's not on that plan, you want to have it in the construction contract as additional to, as addendum to the plans, or if it's not clear, clarifications. But as you can see, we've got pictures, right? Some pictures, some Google pictures, some pictures of the old house, right? What the old house looked like, what the house looked like when they applied for the permit, that bay window there, what was to be the garage, and there's the street. There's the backyard with this big weird metal overhang. And then the site plan. So the site plan has a ton of information, and truthfully, every page on a plan has a ton of information. This tells us about site notes. I wonder if I can take this off. Okay. All right. So it tells us about verify street address, time of final inspection, finished floor, maybe no less than 8 inches plus 2% per foot above top of curb at street for drainage. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, but 5% slope. So there all these things have meaning for you, like special inspections. Like I have to have some special inspections, and I have to know what they are. I can tell you about that later. This is an artist or architect's rendering of what the house will look like with the new foyer entry pop out, and this is the back here. This is all the addition, new chimney. These are washout details. This is kind of boilerplate. There are a lot of boilerplate on plans, but these guys here, this site plan has a heck of a lot of information. And it tells me, I got new gas service running all the way back to the new utility room, new 200 amp electric meter running from the pole. It tells me the size of the pop out, the new master bath, master bedroom, living room extension, and the foyer extension. It just tells me all kinds of things. And it tells me it's topographical. So it tells me the elevation and how the elevation changes, right? So it looks like we got an elevation of 452 here and 451 here. So this is actually lower by a foot, which is a good thing in terms of getting your water off. But a foot isn't all that much in however deep the lot is, which if I look hard enough, I'd find it, or I'd use the scale. This is 1 inch equals 10 feet. So simply, if I couldn't find it somewhere, now you don't want to build off a scale. You don't want to scale plans, although sometimes you have to. But if I wanted to find out what this lot was, I'd just go ahead and measure it. It's 12 inches, so that's 120 feet. And width wise, it's 60. So it's 60 by 120. Scale rule. Did Jim talk to you about scale rules, architectural scale rules? Right there. This is probably the most common one. Triangular architectural scale rule has 1.5 inch, quarter, and eighth. Has 3/32, 3/16. It has the inch scale. Has 1.5, 3 inch, 3/4, and 3/8 scale. So those all are. Let's just take, for instance, 3/4. Well, let's take quarter. So let's go. Let's open up these plans. Bunch of boilerplate. These are specs and building notes, general notes, dust control notes, mechanical and plumbing notes, electrical notes. All these things are important, and they may be boilerplate, but they may be specific to the job. So you really have to read everything. You have to read everything. Like, so what if you didn't know that all new windows to be dual glaze, and you put in single glaze? It wouldn't be good. Bunch of details, and in this particular case, these boilerplate details are total boilerplate, and they have almost nothing to do with our job. I mean, they have literally nothing to do with our job. They're boilerplate. We don't have this kind of roof. We don't have any eave detail at all. We have nothing that even gets close. This valley detail, I might be able to use that. But those are boilerplate, so they're just in there. I don't know truthfully why. Here's all the energy compliance documents we've got to have, and then let's get to page 5, which is the floor plan. And then in the floor plan, then we can start using our scale rule. Now this has got some inspector's notes on it because this is the approved set of plans, which should be on the job, but I don't leave it on the job because the job is just a torn up shell right now, and it's not lockable. So it's not safe to leave stuff on the job. So I keep them in my truck or car. This is 1/4 inch scale. So just a briefly how scales work, right? See 1/4 inch there? That 0 there and all those little hash marks, those are each one equals an inch. So that's 12 inches in quarter scale. So each one, so from 0, all those hash marks, that equals a foot. That's a 1/4 inch, and in that 1/4 inch, it represents a foot. So this is an exact representation of the building, whereas the 60 feet of the lot, or well, let's just pick one. The 48.8 from this side of the house to this side of the house is an exact scale representation in a 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So you can just, I can tell you right now, at 48, at a 1/4 inch equals a foot, this should be about 12 inches. Lo and behold, it's a little over 12 because it's 48.8. Okay. And again, on a set of plans, when you're building off a set of plans, you want to build from call outs, not from scaling the plans. You only scale the plans if absolutely necessary. There's no other way to get the numbers, and then still you need to let someone know that you're building off of scaling the plans, because we want call outs. So typically what happened with this job, this particular job, is in the foundation. So there's no dimensions on the foundation. Okay, that's fine. So the foundation guys went to the plans and they pulled that room, right? That which is slab on grade, and the outside walls will be flush with the slab. And actually, yeah. They call it at 14 feet. Right there, 14-foot call out. And that's what you would expect. Now, the problem with going with that call out is that there are site conditions that dictated something else. And the site conditions are this wall is existing. This house is existing, right? We demoed the interior finishes and a lot of the exterior finishes and all the doors and windows and then added on to it. And so in this existing condition, we're adding on a bedroom that continues this wall plane, right? Which is shown at 14 feet. But site conditions were from here to here is 1310. So this should have been, that foundation should have been 1310, from there to there, and it wasn't. It was done 14 feet, in which the foundation guys thought they were doing great based on the call out. And so we consequently had to fur this wall all the way out by 2 inches. And if you don't know what I mean when I say fur the wall out, we'll get to that when Jim talks about framing, and then I get to do a lab, which I think is in a couple of weeks. I'll get to show you some framing and connections and stuff like that. So that's a set of plans. Specifications are really important. Here's your, your legends, symbols. There's in the book. I'm going to put this back on the tripod. I've been holding it this whole time. I hope I can get it back on. Man. Okay, I think I can do it. Yes, I did it. Still seeing the plans? Yeah, you are. Good. Okay, let's go to me. Let's go to me for a second. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? You know, actually, I kind of wanted to take this time to get to know you all, but maybe I'll do that next week. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so I just wanted to mention a couple of things in the book, and that good plan, well-defined plan, and then changing plans. So on page 150, they talk about changing plans. Changing plans, 7.3, and in chapter 7, changing plans. Is that coming in backwards to you guys?
No, it's kind of normal.
Okay, good. Just, wow, that's weird. It's backwards to me. So, I'll get that document camera figured out. I just want to spend a minute talking about changing plans. So sometimes an owner wants to change plans as the job progresses. If the changes are minor, such as changing the size of a location of a window or making a revision on the design of a built-in cabinet, carpenter can usually handle them. Sketches or notations should be recorded on each set of plans so there's no misunderstandings. Major changes such as the relocation of a load-bearing wall or stairs may generate a chain reaction of problems. So what I want to comment about on that is, I want to comment on more than one thing, that's for sure. Because changes are really important for a variety of reasons. One is, there will always be changes. I guarantee you that if you build anything, well, at least this complex and as big, and I don't care, or half this size, or a quarter this size, or a tenth this size, or 100th this size, more than likely, there will be a change. And for a job this size, which is going to be probably construction cost of about 500,000, there's going to be multiple changes. And I guarantee it, I've done this literally hundreds of times, and there are always changes. And they are never changes that bring the price down. They are always changes that bring the price up, not down. So price-wise, it's going to go up. There may be some savings in some areas, but most of your changes will cost money rather than reduce cost. Some changes will reduce cost, but people usually add things, and things added. Now, that's why plans are so important. Plans and specifications, because the plans call out what are going to be built. They've drawn it to scale so you can see it and you can see what you're building, and then the specifications tell you what goes into that. They're so important because that's what you base your price on if you're building this for a fixed cost. You base your price on that. So when things change for whatever reason, then it needs to be re-examined, especially for the price. But the thing I really wanted to tell you is that I have an adage about changes. And that is, nothing exists in a vacuum. Everything affects everything else. It's all interconnected. You cannot just change one thing. I'm sorry. You can't. It's all connected. So every part in a building is connected. Some way it's connected to something else. And typically it's connected to more than one thing. So when you change one thing, it always affects something else. I can't think of one thing that doesn't. I'm sure there's some minor stuff like moving a box up slightly, but then you might have a block in the way. I mean, there's always something. So you need to consider down the line what your change changes and how it affects. And just make sure that you're ready to deal with that. For instance, we have some pretty big changes on this job. And one of the changes, so sorry. One of the changes is the kitchen wall. The kitchen west wall is shown on the plans with 2 windows. Window 2, just on the window schedule, window 2, and then you see there's a window there, center of the kitchen sink, and a window there. On the elevation, window, kitchen sink centered there. All right, that's the west wall, west elevation. So that's the direction you're looking, standing at, looking from. So you're actually looking east, but that's the wall that faces west. That's the west elevation. 2 windows on the kitchen side. There's the kitchen door. There's the pop out for the foyer. Kitchen door, pop out for the foyer, and there's window and window. Well, and you see in the video I'm about to show you, she wanted 3 windows. The owner wanted to get 3 windows in there and change that wall. And we found that wall to be substandard once it was stripped of stucco. We had to strip off the stucco from header height down to get in the new window framing. They were different sizes in the windows that were there. And so we had most of the stucco off and the framing exposed. And as it turned out, that wall was substandard. So it was substandard in 2 ways. It was 1 1/4 inches out of plumb and 8 feet. And you could take it and shake it. No, I shouldn't have been able to do that with any wall. Even with the interior finishes off and the stucco exterior finishes off, I should not have been able to shake that wall and get it to move. And so it was determined we reframed the wall. We reframed it 2x6 and changed the windows. Now those changes affected a whole bunch of things down the line and how we connected to, but there was no shear on that wall. So we could, and that's a whole other thing that I won't take the time to explain right now, I don't think, unless somebody wants to, unless somebody really wants to know about shear, I can tell you about shear. But there was no shear walls, so we felt like we could make that change for the owner. And then it came up with our first inspection, and now I've got a thing with the county. I've had to have the engineer look at it, have an RFI, which is a request for information from the engineer that states that it's okay to reframe that wall and that it's okay to put the windows in. And then now I have to have a revision to the plans done, and I have a bunch of things done on the revision. And then speaking of plans, the, so this is the job site card. So it has a permit, right? That's basically, that's the permit. And I've been signed off for my slab steel. My rough plumbing is actually signed off, believe it or not. My foundation setback signed off. I have no floor nailing because it's a slab, no pre-wrap nailing. Shear panel, it actually is signed off. I had to get a special inspection on that. And then roof nailing signed off, so my roof's dried in. And then the next one I have will be rough electrical, rough mechanical, and rough plumbing. So that's the job card. That's what they look like. And then here's some special inspections that I keep in my job card full. Here's some inspection reports that I just made some notes about. And the inspection was here. Here's my engineer's RFI to building and safety, saying that due to the substandard condition of the existing western exterior wall, a contractor reframed with new 2x6. This is perfectly acceptable anyway. Stuff like that. And then what I really wanted to show you is, okay, so this is my job folder I've got right here. And I wanted to show you this plans and drawings. Plans are everything. And so the sooner you know about plans and how to draw them, how to read them, and how to draw them, how to interpret them, but how to make them too, the better off you're going to be, because this whole thing is about plans and interpreting plans. And I'm just finding some drawings here for you. I can't find my cabinet drawing. Damn it. I have a cabinet drawing too. Oh, shoot. All right, so I've got some drawings done that I want to show you that I can't find. But here are just some details right here of what Wendy wanted and how we're doing the sills and how we're doing how the stucco grounds to the sill, right? How we're treating the window jambs, how the drywall and stucco grounds to the jambs. And these are all to scale. How the thresholds are treated. These are all drawings by me to get to the subs and to the owner so they can say, yes, that's what we want to do. And now we have a drawing to do it. We have a drawing, and I did lay out that whole 3-window thing. I have a drawing of that. I don't know where the heck it is. It's somewhere. I really wanted to show it to you, but maybe it's in here. Okay, so another change the owner wanted. She wanted to put 3 skylights in the living room. So the living room, we took out the ceiling. I'm going to show you this really soon. We took out the ceiling, and all the site build trusses are going to show. And I'm going to show you the video in a minute. And now she wants to add 3 skylights up there. And they're Velux FS, which is fixed skylight. They're deck mounted, so they go right to the roof. And they're 22.5 by 45 3/4 rough opening. That's a whole other thing. Rough opening is pretty important. So when you do doors and windows, make the spaces to accommodate the doors and the windows, you need the rough opening. So which may not be the exact size of the window. It should be bigger than the window. So the rough opening, the window and door manufacturers will give you the RO. And that's what you need to give the framers, the RO, so they can frame it to the rough opening so the windows can go in. So because there's no provision for the skylights, I have to have a drawing, so the framers will know, and so we'll be submitting this as part of the revision. The architect will be doing the revision, but it'll be based on my plan. So I went to the job site. Okay, there it is. And just sketch and dimension, right? Nothing to scale. Just chicken scratch sketched, but dimensioned. I took this chicken scratch and dimension and turned it into this. So this became this. Now this is a scale drawing. The scale is right here. It's 1/4 inch equals a foot. It's the Mangone living room skylight layout. I like to title all my drawings. I like to date all my drawings and put the scale on. And it shows, based on the ridge line, the direction north, so you know how to orient the plans, it shows that 19 inches away, I want these ROs, and I've divvied up those truss bays in 1 through 11, and it starts in the middle, number 6, skips 1, goes to 8, skips 1, goes to 4. That's where the skylights lay out. And that's how you do it, rather than a bunch of hand waving, because nobody remembers what you pointed at. Doesn't mean anything. And remember I said we changed that window? So I drew the initial cabinet plan. This is my old company. It's not my company anymore, but I still have a bunch of pads. I drew the initial cabinet plan, and the cabinet plan shows, so that's a symbol for a window. There, there, and there, which is the lines that show the window, and then a line through the middle that shows it's a glass window. And it shows the exact dimensions of where those windows lay out and how the cabinets lay out too. Now, the cabinet maker, who happens to be Bud Construction, which is not my company anymore, they are doing a CAD plan. As a matter of fact, I think it's done. So there's a really great CAD plan for that. Okay. So that's some plan stuff, specification stuff. So I can't stress enough that if you have any more than a mild interest in this stuff, that you learn how to draw to scale. If you've taken either of my CT classes, 114 or either my 114 or 115 class, or my 116, which I haven't taught for a couple of years, which is blueprint reading, then you will have learned how to draw to scale. But it's an invaluable tool to have in building anything, is drawing it to scale, because you can actually build it on paper and you can get a sense of what it's going to look like. And then from there, you can also cut list it and cause it to be done. And you can hand a set of drawings or a plan that you've done to scale to someone else and have them execute it. So like I said, it's completely invaluable. We've been at it for an hour and not quite a half. So I'm going to call a break. And I'm going to stop recording, and then one of you is going to tell me that we're going to go back to recording. But I'm going to call a break until 5 after 10. So don't go away yet. But please, you need to all be back here by 5 after 10. And then I'm going to take some time to show you these builders levels. And then, like I said, we're going to get out of here relatively early today because, because of my Golf Jones. Don't tell anybody that. No, you can tell. I don't care. I don't really care. I'm not embarrassed by it. It's golf is just the greatest thing ever. It's the hardest sport there ever was. It's extremely challenging. I walk 7 miles. I'll be walking Sandpiper all along the beach. And then before I let you go for your break, I'm going to tell you something that you might find interesting. And those of you that know me, that had me before, know that I share personal anecdotes. It's part of my MO. And so here's a real personal one for you that I don't mind sharing, is that Sandpiper Golf Course is probably my favorite golf course because I scattered my parents' ashes on the 11th tee. My mom's on the women and my dad's on the men's, and they look out over the ocean. My mom and dad were diehard golfers, so it's really cool for me to go there. And sometimes I go there on my mom's birthday and leave her flowers on the tee marker. Anyway, that's a lot to know about me. So we're taking a break. I'm going to pause recording. I'm going to see you back here at 5 minutes after 10. Okay? Okay then.